So I think we should both introduce ourselves and say what the goal or purpose of us being on this podcast is.
Yeah.
So I'm Brittany. The goal I have of me being on this podcast, get enough traction that killers stop killing and abductors stop abducting because they're scared to make it on our platform to get humiliated and shamed. Also, justice for the victim's family is a priority.
Absolutely.
How about you, Sarah?
All right. So, my name's Sarah. I guess I kind of feel, we're going in the same direction. We're on the same page. It's really about bringing closure to families, bringing justice to those who deserve it. Even though, honestly, I mean, in a lot of these cases, there's no amount of justice that can be given, but we're going to do our best. We're going to see what we can do, try to help some people out, maybe bring closure to some of these families, but who knows? Either way, you'll be listening to us talk crap.
Yeah, I mean, we both know what grief and shock feels like. I don't know, there's just something unsettling about people getting away with stuff because the system that we have can only go so far because you have to stay objective. And we're going to try to be careful on objective facts versus like letting you know what's our speculation.
That's where
But
the hot-headedness comes in.
yeah, cuz we know what the fuck's going on.
We're going to put an end to that.
Yeah.
Speak up
Dishonor
for
on
the
their whole
victims.
families. We're not also just going to limit ourselves to unsolved cases. There's a lot of subjects under the umbrella of true crime. So, we're not just doing missing people or just serial killers. We are going to do trial proceedings, cult stuff, wrongful convictions. Like, there's a whole world of true crime, and we both are super passionate about all of it.
Absolutely. Maybe in different aspects. I like to read the books. I like the trauma-filled books. I like the murder-filled books, whether they're true crime written or fiction. The heavier, the better for me. I feel like we both like the documentaries. We both get into those. We each might tolerate different documentaries better. There's some cheesy documentaries out there I cannot sit through. When it comes to the news, though, I don't like to watch the news. It's too much. It's too much he said, she said. I can't do it.
I don't know. It depends on news. I'm really not the type of person to sit down for 2 hours and watch a whole documentary. I will fast forward through all that shit. So
I
I
am aware.
like, yeah, I like very short videos. Like, get to the point. I don't need you to speculate for me. I already
Yeah, I'll
overthink.
form a conclusion myself. Just give me the
Yeah,
details.
yeah. Also, a lot of other true crime channels, no shade to them, respect to you and your work, but they make it weird. They'll be like, they were really good friends until they weren't.
Yeah, we
Like,
don't got to do a Keith Morrison type vibe.
yeah, I don't know who that is, but all right,
It's
yeah,
fine.
okay,
We don't have to
yeah. I
do an
mean,
unsolved mysteries type vibe.
yeah, is that who that is?
Nope.
Okay. Well, anyway, there's so much that we could just jump right into, but do you have any specific first cases prepared that you want to talk about, or just.
Yeah, so the first one I want to talk about, actually, I wanted to dive in even deeper than I had the time to do, but I feel like I learned a lot in the short time. So I just want to kind of talk about Timothy Pitson for a second. Like I told you, local-ish case. He was from Aurora. So anybody that is in Illinois is probably super familiar with this case, but
I am in Illinois. I have no idea who that is, so.
yeah, that's mind-blowing to me. I can't believe that. So, back in 2011, he's 6 years old, okay? So his dad claims he had dropped him off at school that day. I'm not going to say he claimed. I mean, he did. The school can verify. Kid was dropped off that day, but when the dad went to pick him back up, the school said he wasn't there, that mom came and picked the kid up about an hour after dad dropped him off. Now, you would think, us being parents, there was never a red flag raised there. Nobody in
Why?
school thought maybe this was weird. Dad just dropped this kid off less than an hour. Mom comes and picks the kid up. Now, mom did say there's a family emergency. We have to go. But I feel like if dad had custody, school should have called dad. and verified. I don't know. Whatever. I'm thinking too deep into it because my own crap, but that's fine.
Well,
So, anyways,
she wouldn't have been able to pick him up if she wasn't like a person that was authorized to, right?
correct,
Yeah,
typically.
so
So, a couple days later, after, nobody has heard from her, a couple days later, she did call the family to say that they were safe, everything was fine. That was May 13th. The next day, she was found in a motel room dead.
the
Timothy's gone.
mom?
The mom was found dead. Um, Wrist slit, throat slit, and a lethal dose of antihistamines. Brittany, they ruled it a suicide.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
I wouldn't consider slitting my own throat. That's I don't know how you would take a lethal dose of antihistamines and then have time to
man,
slit both
look.
your wrists and your throat.
Have you ever gotten Benadryl high?
Yeah.
That shit numbs you. She probably didn't even feel that if that was what happened. Okay, they ruled it a suicide.
They ruled it a suicide. She did leave a note apologizing for the mess, considerate, and saying that Timothy was safe with people who would love and care for him, but he will never be found, and he has never been found. He's been missing since 2011. Somebody out there has to have some sort of information. Somebody knows where this little boy is. Somebody may be hiding this little boy. Regardless, somebody needs to start talking. There are
Yes.
there are some theories that because of where she was traveling, the area. I mean, she went to Gurney, she went to the Dells. In between there's a lot of Amish um, areas. So there's a lot of speculation that maybe he was dropped off with an Amish family and asked to keep him safe. They ain't gonna talk to nobody.
I was gonna say, is that common for Amish people to just be
They don't have to abide by like our rules and stuff. So and they typically don't trust us
uh,
regular
who
people.
the fuck are they?
Yeah, they're Amish. But yeah, so I don't know. Maybe let's get in our cars and go check out some of those areas.
Uh, nah, I'm
No.
actually scared of those people. Um, I don't want to go there. I don't like how that feels. That speculation that Amish people did it because I just
No, not Amish people did it. I mean, the mom did it. It's just Amish people are hiding him. I don't know that I we'd have to dive into that deeper. I really don't know how much law enforcement can do. I don't know.
yeah, we definitely have to hold those Amish people accountable if they got something to do with it. I just don't feel like that doesn't make sense to me in my mind when you said,
I think it would be a very weird outcome, absolutely.
yeah, like how you said he was taken from school, it was the mom, she was found, there was a note, all that slitting going on. My first thought is, boom, let's get what are those people called that analyze the handwriting?
Handwriting analyst.
There you go. So get one of those people and see like, is that really her note? And
Well,
there's
and
people.
and they said that like she did have a lot of issues with depression and mental illness and stuff.
Okay, yeah. So if it was a suicide, it's weird that you didn't want to keep the baby with the dad. Like, what's the? Was he interviewed to see why that would be a thing? Like, why? How dare she do that in a hotel room? Though, imagine. Like, what was the tip left?
Probably more
That
than
was
your
thinking.
20 that you just left.
Okay. I feel like this gives me more than depression. It gives me like delusion. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say,
Yeah.
yeah, because
Schizophrenia, paranoia.
who is taking care of this baby? Are they in the room with us now? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I don't like it.
Yeah, so definitely something that we'll have to figure out. It's a good mystery to solve. All right, what do you got for me?
Karlie Guse.
Ooh, okay. Nice.
She's 16 years old. This is October 13th, 2018. It's a Saturday. She lived with her mom and stepdad, Zach and Melissa. Her real mom's name, I believe, is Lindsay. I'm not sure. Starts with an L. So she's 16. Allegedly, she was last seen in White Mountain Estates near Bishop, California at 6:15 in the morning, walking toward Highway 6. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on to that detail. The stepmom said that Karlie smoked weed and lied about it, lied about going to a football game the night before. So all night she was like up and down, acting really weird. The stepmom was recording her like crying for help and saying, "Would you call 911 if something happened to me?" The stepmom was like, "Nothing's gonna happen," just thinking that she's high and delusional, you know what I mean? Like freaking out, panicking.
Yeah.
The dad says that he woke up at 3 a.m. and saw Karlie wide awake with the stepmom. He just figured it was the drugs because the stepmom said she smoked weed and she was just taking care of her. Later on, she claims to have woke up at 7:15 that same morning and noticed that Karlie was missing.
Okay.
Karlie's dad Karlie's dad didn't call Karlie's actual mom until 9:35. The actual mom had nothing to do with the search
Hmm.
because the dad and stepmom, they can't be in the same room. You know what I mean? Like they hate
Okay.
each other. Hold on to this because I feel
I'm
like
gonna
we're
tell you right
gonna.
now, one of my kids goes missing. The step parent in the situation is gonna sit back while I look for my kid. I don't care if we get along or not. Hi, my
Yeah,
child. I gave birth to him, not you.
right, water boy. But listen, so I really feel like the dad is so oblivious to all the red flags I got from this Melissa lady's interviews, the stepmom.
Okay.
So the mom might be acting suspicious, but the reason is because she hired a private investigator and
Ooh.
she was questioning all of like the details because the story didn't line up. She ended up finding out that Melissa's kid's dad, like I think she has like one or two kids with somebody else. She dropped those kids off at the dad's house randomly at like 5 a.m.
Okay.
Saturday morning. It's just weird to me because if he was up at the dad was up at 3, saw them wide awake. She was acting weird though, and the stepmom was claiming to take care of her, and then he went back to sleep. And then the stepmom drops her kids off at the dad. Say her motive was to say like I might have to take Karlie to the hospital. When did you have time to fall back asleep and then wake up at 7:15 and notice that she was missing?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because if she overdosed or something, how would she have left the house? It just doesn't feel like.
Also, okay, so this stepmom would be an idiot if she is guilty of anything, because why would you do anything outside the norm if you're going to commit a crime like that? You think it's not going to get brought up that you did something suspicious? Because I mean, it is.
Yeah. So I'm trying to see like what drugs did she use because you're 16 years old, so you're just experimenting, and if the only thing that allegedly she's tried is weed,
Well,
say
she might have thought
somebody.
it was weed, and maybe it was that what's that stuff called? That Special K stuff?
I don't know.
Right. Um
All right. Laced, something laced, I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah, that they call it like spice or whatever. It's like synthetic marijuana, but that shit like
Oh.
has you eating the face off people.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah, but she wasn't like belligerent and stuff like that. She was. If are you talking about K2?
Maybe. I don't
I
know.
th- I think I've heard stories about that, but
As you can tell, we're not drug addicts.
yeah, we don't mess around with that. If she was high and she was like rolling around restless, saying something's gonna happen, like she felt like she was gonna die. She literally said that. Even if she smoked weed that was laced, she would have already been too out of it to like just leave
Right.
to stagger off. It's
And
also
even if she did, she
California.
wouldn't have got far.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like she would have collapsed somewhere. Somebody would have noticed something. And so, anyway, so about that White Mountain Estates. So I believe it was the private attorney. Don't quote me on that part, but somebody knew a person that like worked for the city who went in and watched like video footage of the highway 6 over there, and nobody was seen around that time walking. So all of these claims came from the stepmom. The
Mm,
dad is very like passive, lets her handle stuff,
I don't like it.
Mm-mm. So just the way the mom and the stepmom didn't come together when this tragedy happens, because even like, okay, so when my older son's dad died, me and his daughter's mom never got along. Like she bust my window out, all types of shit. When he died, it all of our differences just like disappeared. You know what I mean? Like it was about the kids,
Absolutely.
and I wouldn't say that we're the most mature of people, but we just kind of like let shit go. So
Realized what was truly important in the end.
yeah, like these people couldn't do that. That's
Yeah, that's
weird to me.
sad for a missing child. A missing child should matter a lot more than whatever petty thing you're fighting about.
Yeah, and even if we were to say like, well, everybody grieves different, blame and anger are part of it. Eventually, though, like when does that like wear off to where you can actually have conversations? Because literally, they all three went on Dr. Phil, but he had to like move one set to the back to bring out the mom, and then like put her in the back so he could bring the couple back out again, like the dad and stepmom. It just gave like grow up, bitch. You know what I mean? Because the mom was like, I could sit in the same room with them. It was the dad and the stepmom that were like, no, no, we don't want anything to do with it.
The stepmom
You're,
obviously feels insecure around the real mom.
yeah, it gives me very much like when you get with somebody and then you isolate them from their whole support system. Like, there's some real red flaggy about the bitch. I don't like her. I don't like it. And I just feel like she knows shit. And I'm not gonna say she did it, but
You know. Yeah, I feel
yeah.
like we need to really keep looking into that one too.
Yeah, so do you have any other cases?
Yeah, actually, this is a solved case, but I just wanted to talk about it because it's kind of it's just something it's something that I've remembered my whole entire life, a case I remembered my whole entire life since I was young, and I feel like it's a big reason why I have such an interest in stuff like this. So, I originally heard about this case, the Steven Stainer case that I had told you about when I was real young. Probably too young to be watching stuff like this. But it was a made for TV movie on a kid that had gone missing. It was called I Know My Name is Steven, or I Know My Real Name is Steven.
Mm,
I don't know if it's a case many people are familiar with. He was 7 years old back in 1972. So we're going way back to a time where we thought the world was safe. And apparently back then it still was not. So 1972, December 4th, 1972. He's 7 years old. He's walking home from school when he runs into a man taking church donations. His mom attends church, his mom's a nice person. He figures, yeah, my mom would like to donate. The guy offers to give Steven a ride home. Red flag number one. Steven gets in the car, and that's it. Steven never makes it home. He,
this man was from the church.
yes, no, he was not. He was
Okay.
just impersonating. His name is Kenneth Parnell, real freaking dirtbag. So Steven was never seen again until 1980, when Kenneth Parnell, the same man that took Steven, took another little boy. At that point, Steven was fed up. He was he was raised this whole time by this Kenneth Parnell who ended up telling him that his parents didn't want him anymore. They didn't want him to come home. He had talked to his parents, they forgot all about him. They want nothing to do with him. So, Steven lives with this man until he takes another boy, and he basically says, screw it, we're not doing this again. Sneaks out in the middle of the night with this little boy. Gets this little boy reunited with his family. Steven's a hero, makes it back home, everything's well again. Unfortunately, a few years later, he did die in a motorcycle accident. But the reason this case is even more interesting is because his brother went on years later to become a serial killer. That's weird and doesn't happen very often. Typically, in a family, there's not that much horrible, horrible things going on, but he did go on to become the Yosemite Killer. His brother Corey did, which is also an interesting case. So we'll have to talk more about those at a later date also.
That's really weird.
I know. That's a really good movie. You should watch it.
Was the man who picked them up married?
No.
Because we know a lot about these killers and their mommy issues and stuff. You know.
Damn straight. He's not a very great looking guy either. He just looks like he's suspicious.
Well, then he probably is.
Correct. All right, what else you got for me?
We could talk about Kiera Coles for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, this case really stresses me out because October 2nd, 2018, this woman was 26 years old in Chicago. She was 12 weeks pregnant. She just announced it on Facebook, and she was super close to her mom. She talked to her. So she talked to her Tuesday, October 2nd, 2018, at like 7 p.m. And there is a screenshot of a Facebook post saying that she was out doing Lyft drives at like 8 or 9 p.m. that night. I don't know if that's just like the public, because it went national, you know what I mean? So I don't know if that was just the public creating stories because everybody wants to be relevant and important. And
Absolutely, yeah.
so I don't know if that's a real screenshot. So she worked for the post office, and she was supposed to go to work on October 3rd and called out sick. The mom usually gets texts from her by like 8 a.m. She was supposed to go like to the grocery store, so the mom started like panicking when it was like 11 or something, and she hadn't heard from her yet. So she went over there and knocked on her door. Door was locked, TV was up, blaring. So she called Kiera's boyfriend of 6 years, who would also be the father of the baby that she was pregnant with. And his name is Josh Simmons. He said, I don't have a key, but I can come over there because he hadn't talked to her either. They beat on the door for a long time, ended up calling the police. The police took the hinges off the door. So between the time anybody claimed to have talked to her and the time that the mom called the police, there's like a 20-hour period here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she said that nothing was bothered in the home when they took the hinges off the door, and the car was parked on the same block, a little down from her building, which to me, like having lived in Chicago, sometimes you have to park like down the block or on the next block because there's no parks. It's like all parallel street parking.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, it's like any big city.
yeah,
Horrible.
that part wasn't really weird to me. But then the mom started thinking like, Kiera told me that she gave this man a key. So she just like kept that thought to herself. To like, why would you say? You know what I mean? Like maybe he lost the key, whatever. So she kept that to herself. But she started getting like weird vibes because Josh, didn't have anything to do with them like doing the foot patrol search, passing out flyers, spreading awareness, trying to find her daughter.
Red flag.
Um, yeah, big red flag. They got into her car also, and the only thing that was in there was like her purse that she was using as a lunch bag and her cell phone, which is weird. Why don't you have your cell phone on you? So the purse she was using as a lunch bag just had apple, orange, bottle of water, prenatal vitamins. The boyfriend then went out of state, like he went out of town for a vacation or something, like
Red
very
flag.
soon. Yeah, very soon after. By June of 2019, so this was like 8 months later, he had moved with his other baby mama
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
that had two kids with him to Louisiana.
Not suspicious at all.
This baby mama also fought Kiera, like they hated each other. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They were in competition. Super weird that she just went missing in the
Two plus
middle.
two still equals four, right?
Exactly, like
Okay.
something's weird about
Like,
it.
tell me
So
you're guilty without telling me you're guilty. It's fine. Whatever.
yeah, so a big like loophole in this whole thing, not a loophole, like throws you for a loop, whatever the word for that is. There was a neighbor that gave surveillance footage of this woman walking toward Kira's apartment, right? So the timestamp was 11:53 and 33 seconds. She walked toward the building. And then she walked back toward the car at 11:54 and 0 seconds. So like 30 seconds isn't enough time to get probably into the building. And then I don't know what floor she lived on, but there's a lot more like unlocking doors and gates and stuff if you know how those buildings are in the city. 30 seconds was weird. So people were like, why is she like walking back so fast? She must have saw somebody and blah, blah, blah. Like a whole bunch of conspiracy theories happening. She didn't get in the car though. She kept walking past the car. Later on, it was revealed that that was not Kiera Coles. That was another girl who worked for the post office who lived nearby also. So that I feel like that video was like a distraction from them actually like doing any further
Absolutely, it took
investigation.
time away from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cause she walked past the car, so they were feeling like
Get your facts straight before you call it a tip.
right. They were feeling like
Unless you
she
were
could have went
trying to
somewhere.
derail the investigation.
Ooh,
Uh,
don't don't do that.
I'm just, hey, I'm just throwing it out there.
Now I gotta talk to the neighbor. I
I'm
don't
just
know.
saying. I mean, I just feel like this is a joint effort, as in he held her down while she did the dirty work. I think
Could
they did
be.
it together. And when you come for me in the comments, make sure you it's Sarah with an H.
Right.
I like to be addressed correctly.
Also, she was supposed to had given him $400 the night before on that Tuesday night. They both left her house in separate cars, and then there's footage of her going into the like gas station and getting money out of the ATM, and that transaction was for $400.
You got
Um,
fucked up because I ain't giving no man $400. You better be giving me $400.
Yeah, that's what makes me feel weird because she had just put her pregnancy on Facebook at 12 weeks. You know what I mean? So $400, that's kind of like what people used to joke about, like get that abortion money, and it would be for the amount of $400. So
Which we're not
maybe
joking about abortion.
no, but maybe she like told him she was going to get rid of it. He gave her the money and then she posted the ultrasound on Facebook and then boom, she goes missing. I just feel like that's super weird. But
Yeah.
he moved to Louisiana where he still lives with his baby mama and her mom, and like he can't stay a person of interest because there's no body and there's no like valid reason to go get him. People have reached out to him, like the news and all that, and he never responded to the letters and requests to talk. So he's just like off the grid, working for cash. I did a little research. He got the PPP loan for a little landscaping company, and it's his mom's address that he used. So
Best line of
um,
work to be in when you want to dispose of a body is a landscaping company.
yeah, like why all of a sudden do you know shit about landscape? Mm.
I just
But
look, if it looks like a duck and it walks like a duck and it's over here quacking away, there's a pretty damn good chance it's a duck.
exactly. For me, it irritates me because why can we not like do more,
Yeah,
like make him, you know what I mean? So the FBI, the feds have not been involved in this case yet. Actually, this year, I think in March, I saw that the family is trying to press for like the feds to get in so they can like
good.
go over, reinvestigate, open it back up and see like if they did re-fingerprint the car and stuff, because I want to say, and don't quote me on this either, I don't know if it's a fact, but he parked her car at the apartment complex. But I don't know, because how would you have been the last person to see her park her car, left her phone in it, and you don't know where she is? It's very common for like when people go missing for their phone to still be like there, like in their
Yeah.
car or house.
Let's
Yeah.
just make it easy. Josh has been silent for way too long. He's had enough time to be quiet and stew in his thoughts and memories. So why doesn't he just clear his own name, give his side of the story instead of having everyone point the finger out at him and just answer a few questions? Everyone just wants
Yes.
to know where she is. I mean, if you had nothing to do with that, what's the problem? Why can't you just speak? Is it your girlfriend? Is she not letting you? Is she controlling you speaking out about it? If you don't have anything to hide, just open your mouth, speak up.
He did cooperate with the police and answer their like interrogation questions and stuff, and he didn't give them any information. He just said I don't know anything. so they can't hold him because there's no body. He cooperated with the police, but he like completely vanished from like society. He's just with his baby mama working for cash now. Like he's just not speaking. He's giving me very much suspicious vibes. I believe you did that shit, bitch. Um,
Allegedly.
you have anything else you want to add? That's cool.
No, I think that's it for today, but you know a little bit about us now. Not near enough. You'll start to understand the crazy way our minds work. Or you won't. We still don't half the time, but
Yeah, either
it'll be a
way, I don't
wild
care.
ride regardless.
Very much. Till next time.